This is Film Trigger.
Derpy Gaming says, hello, friends. I'm here for quality content. Well, you came to the wrong channel. There we go.
That's very good.
Except for the fact it's George Clooney's Batman.
So by that logic, George Clooney is the best live-action Batman we have ever gotten.
If Justice League 2 isn't announced in 2022, I will shave my head bald live on air.
Streaming from Studio 47, Film Trigger's Drive-By News begins now.
What up? Hello, everybody. Hello, my name is Stevie Cade, and welcome to Film Trigger Drive-By News, where we're delivering the fastest, most up-to-date news. I don't know. I try to be cool and say something fun. I suck at it. We're here every Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Except this Friday. I have a gig this Friday.
Oh, all right.
Well, I'm going to move it to Saturday. I'm going to do a special Saturday edition of Drive-By News, which it's summertime. For those of you who don't know, I perform music on the weekends as an acoustic solo artist, sometimes a duo with a saxophone player. So some Fridays, which we do Drive-By News on, I won't be able to do it. So I'll put it on a different day, typically on a Saturday, or if I need to do it the day before, like maybe on a Thursday, then we'll do it that way. We'll see, but this Friday, no Drive-By News, but it will be on Saturday. But you have us today. Seth is here. How you doing, Ben?
Doing good. Doing
right.
good.
Good.
Doing good. Doing good.
Doing good. Doing good.
Doing good.
Does that
How
mean
you doing?
I'm doing good.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
Oh, shit. Man, it's been a slow news weekend when it comes to entertainment stuff. Not really too much to talk about today, which is fine. It's fine. What we're gonna do instead, like, we'll run through a couple things, but we're actually going to do a live spoiler talk of Chip and Dale at the end of this Drive-By News, which will be fun. I'm really excited to talk about that. If you haven't seen my review for it, it is up now. It's a spoiler-free review. It's up now on the channel, or if you have seen the movie and you don't care about spoilers, we will be talking about that at the end of the show. Seth, are you ready to dive into some movie news?
I am.
All right. Let's change that mood here. There we go.
You know, I'll say this. It may have been a slow news day for the past couple of days, but there is a Thor trailer coming out tonight.
I know. And it's going to be late tonight, though. Like, it appears like during the game, like I think in the fourth quarter of the game, or something like that, and the game doesn't even start until 8:30 Eastern time. So it'll be late, but it's coming. Yeah, I'll be doing a trailer reaction at 1 a.m. Great. But all right, Thor trailer's coming, but it's gonna be like are you excited for the Thor trailer?
I am. Yeah.
I'm ready to get context of what the movie's going to be about, some sort of nod to what the story is going to be, and I'm really, really excited to see gore. I hope they show gore.
We're absolutely gonna see gore. I'll be surprised if we don't. So yeah.
Are you anticipated for gore? Like, are you excited for that?
I don't know much about Gore himself. I'm not gonna lie, but what I do know, I think he'll easily be the best Thor villain we've gotten. Well, I mean, Loki was kind of the villain of the first one, wasn't he? Yeah. Okay, other than Loki, I feel like Gore is going to be the best one that we've ever gotten.
Yeah, but Loki's turning into an anti-hero, or maybe even a hero. We'll see where that
and he's been a villain in a lot a thing too. He's a villain in the first Avengers movie, so I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever. I think Gore's going to be great.
I rewatched Loki, the series.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched the entire series. I just binged it, and I'll tell you what, dude. Number one, I think I'm starting to understand the 6-episode thing, because I literally watched it like in an evening. It was like watching a long movie. It really was, and it was it zipped right through, and I was through the whole season. I was like, you know what? Now I kind of get the 6-episode thing.
That's why I've been saying the 6-episode structure would work better for me if they dropped them all at once. Because it feels like a movie. Because when the episode ends, it feels like you're just pausing in the middle of a movie and being like, all right, next week we'll see you all.
Right.
Like,
well, anyway, my point was that I rewatched Loki, and I'll tell you what, man, that show is just so good. So good. And like,
good.
I'm beginning to understand the difference between like multiverse and certain timelines, and like I'm starting to unpack it a little bit. But it's so convoluted right now. It's so convoluted. But that's for a different show. Let's stick on track here. All right. First thing I'm going to bring up is their Spider-Man 4 could be in the works soon at Sony. Now, how is this news? We all knew a Spider-Man was coming. Actually, we didn't. There was rumors going around and theories that maybe Tom Holland was done and that they were gonna kind of just focus on a different version of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
which we all kind of thought maybe Andrew Garfield would fall into that realm, but then he quit Hollywood again. Well, but he seems to go in and out. You know what I mean? Like he kind of like, you don't hear from him for a while, then he pops back up and hey, look me, I'm famous, and then he dips out again. whatever floats your boat. But we finally have some sort of fair confirmation from a Deadline article here. The Sony chairman Tom Rothman was asked about the future projects coming with Sony, and he kind of puts Spider-Man into his quote here. He says, Uncharted, Jumanji, Spider-Man. We have our Marvel business, which breaks into three tranches. There are the Spider-Man movies, which we're currently at work on two Spider-Verse sequels to our Oscar-winning animated movie, Talk Slut, with Lord and Miller. And we hope to get working on Spider-Man, on the next Spider-Man movie. We hope to get working on the next Spider-Man movie. That's our confirmation. Our confirmation is we hope. Now, here's the thing. Now, moving forward, this will be what I think will be the first Spider-Man that actually will not really be attached to the MCU. Is that a fair assessment? In the sense of like, I think now that they're pulling back and it's going to be just kind of Spider-Man in the Sony world, maybe MCU characters coming in and out, but he's not really going to be the pivotal part of the MCU story.
Maybe not, but there's still going to be MCU movies. Like Venom does not count as an MCU movie, but the Spider-Man trilogy does. I think it's going to stay like that. Like, Spider-Man 4 will be an MCU movie.
Yeah. Do you think? When is that contract up? Do we know anything about that contract, or do you like exactly how that works with Spider-Man? Like how he's going to like be involved with the Sonyverse and then MCU? Like, because I always thought once they did that, the No Way Home, that was their send off. Like, okay, well, come back to Sony Spider-Man, and we'll keep you here. That's hence why they kind of did a spoiler alert soft like reboot for him. At the end of No Way Home, now he's going to be a completely different Spider-Man that we haven't seen before. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that he's always been talking about through all these movies.
I think they signed a contract, and only one movie has come out since then, which was No Way Home. And the contract that they signed had him attached for two movies. It was a complicated contract because he was signed on for one Spider-Man movie and one MCU movie, which hasn't happened yet. So whatever that movie ends up being, a lot of people thought that was going to be Doctor Strange 2. Right. But it ended up not being that.
I mean, that seems like an organic transition, because he was kind of part of what happened there,
So he is contractually obligated to appear in at least one more MCU movie. And Sony and Sony and MCU seem to be doing very well right now. They seem to be very buddy at the moment. So I don't see them splitting anytime soon. In fact, I think they're going to become more involved over the years. Yeah. Well, like I think we'll start seeing other Sony Marvel movies with like the Marvel Studios logo above it. Like I think they're really going to start working together.
Well, don't they technically have to do the Marvel Studios logo? Like, isn't that
only for the Spider-Man movies? I'm talking for things like maybe future Venom movies.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Woman.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Movies like those kinds of movies.
I don't know. Can they do that?
Yeah. I mean, they have to be like directly involved with each other. They can't like Sony can't just only make a movie and be like, here, Marvel, release it, unless it's part of the contract. But like, it's too late for like Kraven the Hunter to be doing that. Right. That's already shooting. It's too late for that. But maybe they could go back on the deal, and be like, hey, we haven't shot Venom 3 yet. We don't even have a script yet. So, you want to work together on this, maybe really tie it in kind of thing.
Make it not suck.
Yeah.
Oh, Marvel. I should be saying that about Sony. Sony just needs all the help they can get. They really do.
Yeah, they do.
I'm
saying this hopefully because I want Sony to get the help they need.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Sony is, to me, I see a sinking ship. But Spider-Man is like this big raft, like it's their life raft, and they're really holding on to that life raft. But even with that, and their other Spider-Man properties that they're putting out, obviously, Morbius being the most recent one that just crashed and burned. Not only did it crash and burn for the movie, but it also it may have. I don't know if we'll see Jared Leto in a movie anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like that poor guy.
Not just Jared Leto. I don't think we will ever see Morbius again. The character.
Really?
There is no way we ever see that character again. Like I'll be shocked if that movie gets a sequel, or if whenever a Sinister Six movie comes out, because that's their end game plan, I'm sure. Whenever a Sinister Six movie comes out, Michael Keaton's just gonna walk up with like Kraven or something, and that's it. He's like, "Yeah, I got Kraven. So Venom, do you want to join us?" Like, it's a Morbius? Who's that?
He's like that vampire guy ditched us. I don't know. What a loser. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
But it's not going to make any difference if they put this out or they don't bring Morbius back in, but they still make shitty movies. That's kind of like where we're at. Like, when are they going to stop making shitty movies? That should be like their main goal. I mean, Morbius had a lot of potential to be really good and probably was at one point in time, but it was just over edited. It just chopped all to hell. Let's see. Ooh, we got some comments here. Let's see. Malik, is that how you say it? Malik? Malik,
I think.
Honestly, I think multiverse gives Sony ability to allow Tom Holland's Spider-Man to continue in MCU. That's what Seth was saying. Pretty much allows other stories just to be under a multiverse category. Doesn't have to influence the MCU. Okay.
Yeah. I think Spider-Man could easily be like his own subsection of the MCU. Yeah. Maybe he can pop up every once and again, but like for the most part, I kind of want him to stay on his own. Maybe be like, oh hey, Daredevil appears in Spider-Man 4, they'll team up, but like, you know what I mean, like street level stuff. I don't want to see Spider-Man going to space anymore.
Fair. And you know what? And you bring up. Thank you for chiming in, Malik. I hope I'm saying your name right. Malik TV on. You come from Twitch. I have to look into that. Thanks for chiming in. This is if you brought up Daredevil, and man, if I predicted this, I'll be so excited. But remember back in the Hawkeye days, I said I think what they're going to set up is a new Daredevil that will team up with Spider-Man, like in the movies. Like it's going to be Spider-Man, Daredevil in that, like in their own friendly neighborhood sort of way.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they're headed. So
I hope so.
Malik says Andrew Garfield will probably be our street level, and Tom being Secret Wars. Well, but Andrew's gone, dude. He's retired for now, or taking a break. He's taking a break. Trust me, I want Andrew Garfield to be a part of it. It seems like the tone that they went for in Morbius, they were really banking on, on his Spider-Man being that Spider-Man. But now we have no idea. We have no clue, 'cause Sony just does things.
I mean, according to a Forbes article, I know I brought this up a little bit ago, like a few shows ago. According to a Forbes article, though, they offered him a bunch of movies, Andrew Garfield, and he said no. So I don't know about Andrew Garfield being our Spider-Man, but we'll see.
I hope so, because if anybody's watched my reviews, I have an entire Spider-Man review series, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is my favorite one. I loved that first one. Is still my favorite Spider-Man movie. That the Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, that's man. Wishful thinking, but maybe it'll happen. Maybe it will. One could only hope. All right, so moving forward to our next item at hand here is Seth. Maybe you might know a little bit more about exactly what this poll was that ended up on Twitter. Do you know about this?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little
do you,
bit.
Do you know what the poll was for exactly?
It was just a survey for Disney that they do sometimes. Like companies will send out surveys and stuff, just asking people kind of just to get information on like what do the people want, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's
well.
that's
There was one of those, and the reason why it's even a thing is because the image used to talk about the one of the options being Fantastic Four was a fan-made image using Krasinski and Emily Blunt, as Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And this is the original image that they used. Yeah, and Zac Efron. In the actual when I was reading this on Screen Rant is where I saw the article. They said in the photo you could see the Thing and Bill Hader as like their robot, but I no clue what they were talking about. I see none of that here. But yeah, it was very, very odd. But this is the image that they're talking about. And this is the tweet comes from With Great Power Book, says an outside survey company polling Disney Plus patrons regarding upcoming project to use John Krasinski and Emily Blunt for the Fantastic Four. Reed is even shaven with a tweaked suit and gray hair at his temples. Obviously, I feel like With Great Power Book does not know that this is an older image. I think it came out in like 2019. I think this is like where the fan theory came from. With him being Reed Richards, which eventually came to fruition. Spoiler alert: Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange 2. He's all there. So anyway, this is all just rumor mill. We don't know the intent or the integrity behind why they did it, but it seems like one of those very subtle things that like a company would do just to have people like us do what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
To give it attention, blow it up, and to see if there's still an audience that wants Krasinski as Reed Richards. Now, with that being said, again, if you haven't seen Doctor Strange 2, there's a mild spoiler here, but Krasinski shows up in Doctor Strange 2 as Reed Richards. Total fan cast, and it totally happened. Now, with that being said, people like me and Seth, we were not impressed with his performance. It seemed like, and if you watch my review on the movie, I said he just showed up and just read his lines and phoned it in pretty much, and that was it. Does that concern you about him moving forward as Reed Richards, Seth, or do you think that was just kind of like a bad shot that they used in that movie?
Surprisingly, I'm actually fine with him coming back to be the main MCU Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I think, of course, there's room for improvement. He wasn't amazing as Reed Richards. But I think, give him a movie, he could be great. Like
there wasn't anything for him to do in that scene.
Exactly. He had like 3 minutes of screen time. And people were like kind of calling out the writing too. I'm not gonna act like I know anything about the Fantastic Four comics wise.
Yeah.
Because I haven't gotten the chance to really dive into them yet. But like there were like huge Fantastic Four fans that are like, Reed Richards was also very poorly written in that movie. So like, that mixed with the limited screen time plus with the not really anything to do.
Right.
Maybe give him another chance, I mean, obviously, if we give him another chance, it's going to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
So this other chance would be him literally playing the character for probably the next decade. But
right. That's fair. And I don't blame John Krasinski at all. I really don't.
I don't either.
It may have sounded like it in my review, but like it was just an overall generalization of how the movie portrayed him in this. Portrayed him like it was like this huge buildup, but we didn't build up to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and here he is, and he's gone. All right. There's nothing for him to do. So I'll totally forgive it. But at the same time, his appearance was lackluster. I feel like it could have been a lot better. Yeah. But it is what it is. I'm not too concerned about it, much like you, Seth. So
I think I'll say this. I don't think we're going to get Emily Blunt as Sue Storm. I don't know why. I've nothing to come out here and be like, hey, here's why I think this. I don't know. I don't feel like that's gonna happen. But like,
Right.
I really do see. I really think it's likely even that we will see John Krasinski. And when this is announced, I guarantee you it'll either be Comic-Con this year or D23, which is Disney's own Comic-Con, which is in September.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, they'll probably bring out John Krasinski on stage. Whoever the director is, maybe even then it'll be John Krasinski himself.
Right.
And they'll be like, hey, you know, yeah, you saw me in Doctor Strange. I'm here to announce I'm playing the character in the MCU. Let's bring out the rest of the cast. I want Seth Rogen to walk out on stage. I'm just throwing that out there. I want him to be Thing.
Why do you want Seth Rogen to be Thing? Like,
I like the casting. I like that idea. Like,
I don't get it. Like, I just listen. I don't know. Only thing I know from Fantastic Four is what we've seen in the movies, which is quite a bit. I mean, we've had like 3-4 movies if you include that '90s piece of crap that came out.
Yeah.
But to me, the Thing is a very heavy, no pun intended, character. You know. In his emotion, I just don't see Seth Rogen in that realm. I really don't.
Seth Rogen, are you talking about like dramatic acting and stuff?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Steve Jobs?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I know it's kind of hypocritical of me because I've never seen it either, but but I've seen scenes from it, like highlighting Seth Rogen's acting because that's more of a drama movie. He kills it in that movie.
Like, check it out. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't. I mean, obviously, actors are actors. That's what they do,
right?
You know, but just traditionally speaking, when I hear Seth Rogen as a part of a role, I'm like, oh, all right. Well, there's the comedic actor for the movie.
I understand that. I do get that, but I think he would be fit for the role. That and I mean, Seth Rogen's a fan favorite for most people.
Yeah,
you know, people love Seth Rogen. I love Seth Rogen. So if he got cast, I'd be like, yes.
Dude, Seth Rogen's appearance in Chip and Dale.
Chip and Dale. There's a certain part. I mean, obviously, we'll get to it. I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah. Don't forget, guys. We got, I think, 2 more things to talk about in a drive-by news. Then it's going to be nothing but spoiler talk for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Which, if you haven't seen it, my God, go see it. Then watch my spoiler-free review, and then come back and visit us on this video. We'll post a separate video of our spoiler talk about it. But yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment. But before we do, is there anything else you want to add on to this Fantastic Four conversation?
One last thing.
Okay.
Zac Efron is definitely not playing Human Torch. Zac Efron is almost 40. Well, not almost 40. He's like 34. But like, you know, by the time Fantastic Four comes out.
Stop. What you just said was ridiculous.
What?
He's almost 40 while he's 34. Those are 2 completely different ages.
Yeah, that's why I said he's almost 40, and I said, well, not really, he's 34.
Do you think 34 and 40 is like the same thing?
But then I was saying, by the time this movie comes out in 3 or 4 years from now, he'll be 37, 38 years old.
Wow, 1 foot in the grave, huh?
I'm not saying he's an old crippling man. I'm saying that Human Torch is like a kind of in his 20s, you know, kind of guy, like early 20s. I've always seen him like that, you know.
All right.
Kind of 25 years old, kind of guy. Like
I honestly don't see the Zac Efron thing. Like, I don't see that being like a good casting. I'm not huge on Zac Efron personally, so
he's the same to me in every movie. Maybe I need to watch more movies, but I see Zac Efron, I'm just like, oh, it's that kind of movie. Monte.
He's 26, basically dead already.
I'm not calling him an old man. I'm just saying he's not like in his early 20s.
But 26. He's in his mid 20s then.
No, he's not.
Oh.
Zac Efron is, how old is Zac Efron? He is turning 35 this year.
Oh, okay.
Which again is not an old man. I'm just saying he's not in his early 20s.
Yeah. Malik says new actors would be nice. Yeah, how about that? Can we just get some actors, no names? I mean, obviously, you know, having Krasinski being, you know, Reed Richards is okay. That's just he's in there. We know that that's a most likely going to be what happens. But I wouldn't mind bringing in new actors. I mean, yeah, I think that's a good idea, especially for those types of roles.
I think that they've said before that the cast of Fantastic Four is going to be a mix of known and new actors. My guess is the known actors will be playing Reed and Thing. You know who I think is playing Thing, but yeah, exactly. But the new actors will probably be Sue and Johnny Storm.
Jimbo
right.
says, "Yeah, screw Zac
Okay,
Efron,
I get
that
it. I
effing boomer."
I get it. My dad misunderstood me. Whatever. It's fine. You don't have to keep making fun of him for it.
Stop talking. Jeez Louise. Keep making. Thanks, son. Thanks for coming to my defense. What the hell? I don't like that trait.
Where's the music?
Oh, I get. Don't worry about the music. I got control of the music. You just back off. Why don't you take down that banner down there, and we'll move on to the next one. How about that? Thank you. All right, so let's move on to our next topic at hand. Are you done?
No, you can still hear me perfectly fine. I'm just relaxing. Maybe I'll turn my chair around.
All right. Well, there we go. It was fun having Seth on the episode today. I appreciate him tuning in. So we're going to move forward without him for the rest of the show. Oh, man. We're feeling spicy today. It must be Monday. Must be Monday. Real quick before we move on, Monte says, watch Zac Efron in Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. He plays Ted Bundy. I think I have seen that. Yeah, I've seen that Ted Bundy movie. And the role completely won me over for him. He deserves to get a chance to play characters that he wants. Hey, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm just saying I've seen that movie. Nothing Zac Efron's done has really stuck out to me as like, oh my God, that's it. I'm happy that movie did that for you, Monte. I really am. Like, maybe one of his movies will do that for me for someday, but as of now, it just nothing sticks out to me about him. And real quick, Monte also says, although I agree with the stigma, you guys. All right. All right. Moving forward to our next thing here. It says, okay. There's a list that came out on Screen Rant. It says all confirmed Marvel characters to appear in She-Hulk. And I kind of want to break this down. And also, as I said, these are the confirmed cameos that are going to be in She-Hulk. But I have a few Film Trigger fan theories also that we're going to add in there at the end of it. Let's see here. All right. Marvel characters confirmed in She-Hulk. We have Hulk/Banner, Abomination. I think that's is it Titania?
Titania? I think. I'm not sure.
Titania. I think that's. I'm not exactly sure how to say it. I know that her character is a villain to She-Hulk, and obviously she appears in the trailer, but what she's going to be, how she's going to be portrayed is not quite known yet. Wong will appear in this because Wong's in everything. Can't go wrong with Wong. And Frogman, my most anticipated cameo of the show so far, is Frogman. What are you talking about?
Frogman? I think it was last time I told you what his abilities are, right?
Oh, he jumps really high?
He can jump high, but only with the suit.
So he has no abilities.
He has no powers.
I mean,
but the suit only lets him jump high.
To be fair, it's same can be said about Tony Stark, except Tony Stark invented the suit. But
Tony Stark invented the suit. He can fly. He can shoot lasers out of his hands and chest. He can freeze people. I've seen him do before. Because remember that he didn't freeze somebody, but remember when he got stabbed by Thanos, he was like ice to cover it up.
No, it was nano stuff. Did you think
whatever.
That was ice?
It looks exactly like ice. Like exactly like ice.
All right. So yeah, exactly, Malik. Thank you. So Batman, right? that's my point. Listen, I'm excited about Frogman because I see Frogman and all I can think about. Well, let me put it this way. James Gunn did a great job of making unknown characters be really cool. And now I get excited. Like Polka Dot Man. Who would have thought Polka Dot Man was going to be the heart of the Suicide Squad? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like now when I see ridiculous characters, I feel like they're going to be in that light, and I'm here for it, man. I really am. Jimbo says every time I see that still of Frogman, I just think of Judo Master from Peacemaker.
He gives me Judo Master vibes.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's funny that you also made a comparison to the James Gunn Suicide Squad. So obviously I'm not alone here. So thank you, Jimbo. I appreciate that. So Wong will appear. Now, what do you think Wong's part is going to be in the show? Because Wong doesn't just show up.
Like he's got Abomination.
He's what?
He has Abomination.
Oh, that's Shang-Chi, right? Shang-Chi?
Yep.
I've never seen
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. I've never seen that. So, okay. Now I have to go back and watch that for this to make sense.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Welcome to the MCU.
Oh, man. All right. Well, and then obviously Abomination, who looks completely different for some reason. I guess multiverse magic. Sure, why not? So there's the confirmed cameos that we have for the show, and that's a pretty good amount of cameos. Now, how well or how bad they're going to look is still up for question. I mean, even Banner looked kind of bad CGI, even though he looks great in the movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe they'll fix it before the show comes out, but then again, it's also a TV series, so we have to keep that in mind. And also, I almost chose a different picture of Abomination. I almost chose the picture of the guy who plays Abomination, because he's going to be in this movie. He's playing the same character, but he won't be Abomination for the whole thing.
Right.
Almost like he can turn it off, like almost like a Banner Hulk situation. Was that something that happened in Shang-Chi that I missed, or
no? He's only Abomination in Shang-Chi.
So how do you think they're going to explain that? Because I thought Abomination was kind of like just stuck that way, like that's how he is constantly.
Maybe it has something to do with the prison that he's in, because his cell looks pretty weird.
Yeah,
like you can see it in the trailer for the show, and it's also in Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe that like takes away his powers or something. I don't know though. I'm just guessing.
That's a fair guess. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what I was thinking too, to be honest with you. But yeah, so there you go. There's our confirmed characters, everybody. So as I said, I have a couple of film trigger theories that we have been kicking around the office here that we think might show up in this show, and I want to see what you guys think, and maybe you'll jump on board. Let's pull this up here. Film trigger theory for She-Hulk cameo. Number 1, Matt Murdock / Daredevil, because obviously lawyer, MCU. I think wasn't there a mention of the same law firm in the trailer that Murdock worked at, or at least where they worked together in the comics. I'm not exactly sure.
Probably something like that. Yeah, probably something from the comics.
But I feel like Matt Murdock will show up. But then the off the wall theory is Howard the Duck. Seth, why would Howard the Duck show up in this movie?
That's what I'm asking you. Is your theory? Is your theory? Why do you think Howard the Duck's going to be in She-Hulk?
Well, if I told you, I would have to kill you, to be honest with you. Without diving deeper into that, we at Film Trigger have caught wind that perhaps Howard the Duck might show up in the movie. Now, how Howard the Duck would show up might be in the same light as Abomination, because she's obviously is a lawyer for superheroes. They said that in the trailer as well. And Howard the Duck he's a known troublemaker. So like I could see him. I mean, we saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was trapped from the Collector. That's when he made his first cameo. He escaped from there. I forget where the second cameo came in at.
He's had 3 MCU appearances so far,
right,
in live action. So he was in the first 2 Guardians movies, and he was in Endgame, which most people don't realize. But he is in Endgame. He's in the background. He's
okay.
He's technically not. He doesn't do anything. You don't see him in action. He doesn't have any lines, but you can see him at a certain point. But and he's in What If, which that's multiverse stuff. But
right, but I think we need justice for Howard the Duck, and I honestly think if they could make this work, a Howard the Duck Disney Plus series would be fantastic.
I want a Howard the Duck show. I really do.
The only problem with it is that Howard the Duck is not necessarily a family friendly thing. Like Howard the Duck is known to be a sexaholic, alcoholic. As I said, it's kind of all around troublemaker. So I don't know exactly how that would work, if they would tone him down quite a bit for the series. I mean, they are bringing our content to the MCU, or to Disney Plus. I don't know. It's questionable, but I vote Howard the Duck and I vote that he's going to show up in She-Hulk.
God,
Mark it down. You heard it here first. If it happens, this is where you got the news. We pulled the trigger on that announcement.
I forgot how ugly he was in Guardians 1. Like, that's a really ugly Howard the Duck design. Like, especially when you see what he looks like in Guardians 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He has more of like a, I don't know, he looks more like a duck. He looks more like Howard the Duck from the comics than he does the Guardians 1 Howard the Duck.
Do you think Seth Green will continue voicing him?
Yeah, probably. If he does come back.
I think that's a good choice. I really do. Well, there you have it, guys. There's the Film Trigger fan theories. Matt Murdock, which seems like a pretty easy guess. Lawyer, superheroes, MCU. Makes sense. And then the more off the wall theory, Howard the Duck will show up in this show. And I promise you, if he does, you heard it here first. So do you guys have any theories of who can show up in She-Hulk? Any other cameos that might show up in your head, and maybe you have a good reason why? Let us know in the comments. All right, so now moving on to the last part of our news segment here, and it's actually not news. We are going to do a spoiler talk of Chip and Dale. So if you haven't seen Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and you don't want spoilers, then well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. We're talking spoilers now, but if you haven't seen it and you want no spoilers, I do have a non-spoiler review for Chip and Dale. It's up on my channel right now. Please go check that out. But if you have seen it, get your keyboards ready and let's talk Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers spoiler talk. Seth, anybody who's seen my review knows that I loved this freaking movie. I told you backstage, like the entire time I was watching it, I was like a kid, like 8-year-old me came out again. I was just like,
yeah.
More like 10-year-old me, but yeah, I loved every moment of this movie. Maybe a little too much, actually. Just nostalgia train, man. Nostalgia train. And what they did in this film, the way they did it, I thought was just absolutely wonderful. But before we unpack all of that, what were your thoughts on this film?
I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. I had no idea what to expect going into it. I'll say that I like the two people starring in it, not Chip and Dale. I mean, Andy Samberg and John Mulaney, who voiced Chip and Dale.
Right.
I liked them both quite a bit. So we'd heard Seth Rogen was going to be in the movie, so I was curious to see what the movie was. But Jesus, like this movie is nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop.
Like just every second, every single frame, you're just you once you realize what this movie is, you're looking for cameos.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Oh, and you can spot them anywhere and everywhere. Like as I said in my review, it's wall to wall cameos. Like it would take years to go through and like point out each and every Easter egg and cameo that shows up in this movie. And some cameos are cameos of things that actually don't even exist. The biggest one being the best cameo in the movie, Ugly Sonic. Ugly Sonic has a huge part in this movie.
He does. I thought once the beginning was over and like he had moved on, I was like, oh, that's it. But they came back for like 3 more times throughout the movie.
So okay,
and saved the day.
So Ugly Sonic, man, to me was one of the greatest gems that this movie had. And essentially, if you're watching the spoiler talk but you haven't seen it because you don't care about spoilers, let me just break this down for you real quick. So he shows up at like Comic-Con because the cartoon characters are pretty much, I mean, they're treated like actors, like the whole Roger Rabbit treatment. They just live in society. And so
in the movie.
What's that? Yeah.
I said who was also in the movie? Roger Rabbit.
Yes, Roger Rabbit's also in the movie. And so they're at this Comic-Con event and all this stuff. That's where Dale is signing pictures and doing the Rescue Rangers thing. And then you see Ugly Sonic, and it's the Sonic from the first trailer that everyone was up in arms about, that they made them redesign Sonic for the movie, which was a great choice because the new design looks fantastic for what the movie is.
Yeah.
But they took that Ugly Sonic concept and they put it in this movie as he is that character. And he's living it up. That's what he's at Comic-Con for. His banner says Ugly Sonic, and like when he's sitting there talking and Dale can't stop looking at his human teeth. Dude, I lost it. I believe I texted you when that moment happened.
You
Seth.
did, yeah.
I was so giddy about that. Cody Ray chimes in and says, "I remember watching the cartoon after school. I'm gonna have to check it out." Yeah, Cody, man, it's so good, and it's on Disney Plus right now. Disney Plus. So you can, if you have Disney Plus, you can go watch it right this moment, and I highly recommend you check this out.
You know, the funniest part about Ugly Sonic to me is that they didn't get Paramount or Sega's permission for that. Do you know that?
No. Would they have to?
Is a legal loophole because they changed the design slightly. You know, they put like the bags under his eyes and they gave him more of a pudgy belly, and they changed his voice. He falls under the parody section of a character.
Right.
And you can parody characters in your movies.
Well,
so they didn't have to get permission. I mean, and they never call him Sonic or Sonic the Hedgehog. They only call him Ugly Sonic.
Yep. Like Sonic is his last name or something.
Yeah, that's how they got away with that.
That's beautiful. And that's ironically the entire like plot, like the entire antagonist's plan in that movie is that whole, copyright infringement thing, where they slightly change a character so they go underneath the copyright laws, and then let's break that down. The entire premise of the movie, like what's happening, because you have your main antagonist, which is of course the biggest baddie in cartoon history, Peter Pan, who grew up to be an adult and a bad guy, and he's like he kind of reminds me of like one of those like classic stereotypical Italian guys. He's got kind of the pudgy stomach, the gruffy beard. He talks a little funny like this,
Yeah.
And so what he wants to do, what his goal is, he takes, cartoon characters that were famous before, but they're not so famous now, and maybe they owe him money or something like that. So what he'll do is he'll kidnap them, change their likeness just enough to where they don't look exactly the same, and remarket them in bootleg versions of their own movies. It's absolutely insane. And I'm there for it. I'm there for every moment of this concept. I think that's because it not only shows you the reality of like how you can get past copyright laws, which is obviously what they did with the Sonic Hedgehog cameo, or Ugly Sonic rather. But it also kind of makes a nod of all the bootleg material that we do have out there. I mean, you can go to any secondhand store in the movie section and find bootleg versions of these characters. And I just love that how they just incorporated that into this world. That's the business, and Peter Pan is running it. Now the whole third act of this movie, though, well, not third act. Let me rephrase that. The last boss battle I thought was a little weak, personally.
The movie went down a little bit for me there too, but
yeah,
oh well.
But it's only for that moment. I think what it was just in my review, I believe I said it was too much. Like there was a lot going on, but somehow still underwhelming.
Yeah,
like they're kind of doing this Voltron sort of Power Rangers thing where the main baddie, Big Pete, aka Peter Pan, kind of went into his own machine that gets rid of your copyright looks and kind of gives you other characters, like you have another character's ear or leg or whatever, and it kind of became this sewn together Frankenstein character of all these different properties, and that became the main boss battle. And even though like the concept I could see on paper seems cool, I don't know. It didn't work for me. But overall, like the rest of the movie was so good that I didn't really mind that little weak boss battle, because it doesn't last too long. And then they immediately jump back into the the comedy of the movie after that for the last few minutes. Seth, what did you think about how this movie progressed and how it ended in that final boss battle?
Yeah, the ending was a little underwhelming, but I can forgive it purely because the rest of the movie, like I said earlier, is just nonstop for the entire thing. So 10 minutes that are just kind of, oh, that's not as good as the rest is all right with me. I hope they make a sequel. The writers are already saying they want to.
Yeah, they say they have an idea for a sequel for sure. Jimbo says, I thought it was hilarious that Zipper was voiced by the Allstate guy. Oh yes, the Allstate guy. Yeah, and the fact that Zipper and Gadget were a thing. Listen, I'm glad you brought that up, Jimbo, because that brings me to a question I've been wanting to ask Seth. Because there's you know nothing about Rescue Rangers. You've never seen an episode of the Rescue Rangers. I'm surprised you wanted to watch this movie, but and I grew up with the Rescue Rangers. I love that cartoon. But as somebody who is on the outside getting introduced to these characters, does this make you interested in actually watching any of the previous cartoons, or you just interested in watching this version of them moving forward?
I'll be honest, I was slightly intrigued by the show. I was like, maybe I'll watch that one day. I probably won't, though. I'm just going to be honest. I probably will not watch Chip and Dale.
Well, you can at least watch a couple episodes.
Yeah.
So you can get into the know of how the show actually was.
The lore and complex storytelling of Chip and Dale. Yeah.
Exactly, man.
I want to say this real quick, though. I want to ask you first, actually. What was your favorite part of the movie? Or your favorite cameo or whatever?
Seth Rogen.
Is it just his character in general, or the scene?
His character. I don't know. His character, just the scene for him, I guess. I think I really just enjoyed Chip and Dale themselves. I think them in the forefront of the movie was my favorite part. And obviously Monterey Jack. Just the whole Rescue Rangers crew. I thought Gadget was a bit benched in the movie. I think she could have done a lot more. As I said, she was actually one of my favorite characters when I actually watched the series growing up. But yeah, I'd say just Chip and Dale themselves are probably my favorite characters in the movie. But my favorite interaction would have to be that interaction with Seth Rogen's Viking character. Just the Polar Express eyes. I'm clearly looking at you. Yeah,
the uncanny valley is what they call that.
Yeah,
it was that. My jaw dropped when they said uncanny valley. I was like, they're going meta with this. That's insane that they actually said the uncanny valley. But
is there something I'm missing about the uncanny valley?
Do you know what the uncanny valley is?
Mm-mm.
It's it's this thing. When it specifically comes to animation, where, or sometimes even when people try to create robots in real life and stuff, where it's you can tell something is kind of human, but isn't human, and it messes with your brain, and your brain automatically starts to fear it and sense it as a threat. It's an actual thing. Look it up. Google the uncanny valley. This is an actual thing that your brain will start to sense it as a threat, and you
weird.
It's certain people, obviously some more than others, will just automatically be scared of it, and that's what the uncanny valley is. So when they said that, I was like, wow, they're really bringing the uncanny valley in here. And then I thought about it. I was like, that makes a lot more sense with Seth Rogen now, because he hadn't shown up yet, but I'd seen the trailer. Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer. I was like, he looks so awful. But watching the movie, it's intentional.
In the trailer, it was intentional in the trailer too, because they put that pretty much that core of that scene in the trailer. About making fun of him not looking like he's looking at the window over there instead of them.
But they didn't mention the uncanny valley.
Right.
So when they did that in the movie, I was like, that makes a lot more sense now. I'll let you read that first.
Okay. Jimbo says, with all superhero genre being as big as it is, you'd think Darkwing Duck cameo was put in to hint at it being a real thing. Jimbo, I hope Darkwing Duck, man. God, if they do a Darkwing Duck movie, I could die happy. Well, Darkwing Duck, and we also need a Gargoyles live action.
I think they're doing a Gargoyles thing.
Don't tease me, man.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Don't set me up for failure, bro.
I'll say this though, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something with Darkwing Duck, because he does have a fan base. People like Darkwing Duck, and it's been 20 5 years since he's done anything.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I have to look this up. When was Darkwing Duck a thing? 1991.
Yeah.
So was it 30 years ago now? Darkwing Duck was a thing. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if they did do something with Darkwing Duck. I don't think it would be a meta movie like this, though. They'd probably just do like an actual Darkwing Duck movie.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. That's what I would want. But also,
yeah.
Well, hold on. You bring up a good point though, Seth. Like, because I did bring this up in my review, where I said this movie actually creates the possibility of creating other spin-offs from this universe, this shared kind of Roger Rabbit sort of universe that we can follow these characters in that same fourth dimensional light.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to see a Darkwing Duck movie as Darkwing Duck, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him in this satire type of thing too. Like, oh, this is his story of him trying to bring Darkwing Duck back. I would love to see that. But Darkwing Duck was definitely on that list of shows that I would watch when I got home at the same time as Power Rangers. They're all part of the same my same routine every day.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it was announced a week ago that the live-action Gargoyles movie is not happening.
I told you not to play with my emotions, man.
Oh, no, I misread the date. 1 year ago. It says 2021. I thought it said 2022. Okay, it was going to be apparently dark though, which is odd. But
no, why would that be odd? Gargoyles was a very dark show.
I've never seen Gargoyles. It's just Disney. They don't do anything dark, so I was surprised by it. It just says that Disney almost released a gritty live-action Gargoyles movie, and it says the gritty live-action Gargoyles movie that almost was, and stuff like that. So this was a plan. That maybe they'll revisit it at some point, but
they have to, man, because that show should be taken seriously. That shouldn't be treated like a cartoon. That shouldn't get the same Rescue Rangers treatment or anything like that. That needs to be treated like an actual like comic book property coming from Disney. Personally, Cody Ray says, "Dude, I want a Darkwing Duck. I want a Darkwing Duck comeback. Yes, let's get dangerous, man. Let's do it." Seth won't get that reference. Let's get dangerous. It's at the theme song.
Apparently the movie would have been too expensive to produce, so that's why they said it would have been too expensive to produce. Maybe they didn't have enough faith in Gargoyles.
What they need to do, how they can rectify this, is they need to make a teaser, a little snippet of something, and see how the audience reacts to that.
We're gonna pull a Deadpool with
yes,
Gargoyles.
Exactly. We're gonna go full Ryan Reynolds with it and release it, and then see how the fans react to it. I think they'll get a positive reaction where they know, okay, you know what, we're gonna make our return back into this movie.
Maybe they will someday.
Yeah. Cody Gargoyles was an epic show. I remember being on the playground as a kid, like with my other friends, and we'd pretend like we were gargoyles, just like we would jump off the play set and pretend like we were flying around the city. Seth, do you know anything about that show at all?
Nope.
Okay, so the gargoyles are pretty much that. They're gargoyles, which gargoyles are part of like this kind of this Celtic architecture that you see on buildings, like these, kind of monster-looking creatures that you see on like the edge of buildings, for decorative reasons. Well, the mythology is that I forget why in the show. I can't remember if it was like moon night or at night only, but at a certain point in time, they come alive. I think it is at night, and they come alive, and they're actually human. They're not human, but they're actually living beings, and they fight their own mythological creatures at night and do all these sort of things. But by daytime, if they're not back to where they need to be, they'll just turn into stone. As soon as day breaks. So they have to be. Everything has to take place at night, or if they're somewhere random during the day, they'll be stuck, as stone, like wherever the hell they're at. So
it's really creative.
But dude, it was a great show, and it was a dark show. Like I would almost put it in the same light as the Batman animated series.
Yeah,
that kind of just darker tone. Like man, well, I wouldn't give to have that be a movie. And that's what this movie Chip and Dale is doing right now. This discussion that we're having is only possible because Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers made it possible. It just opened up the Pandora's box of early 1990s cartoon nostalgia, and we're all just basking in it. And the thing I love most is that Seth, who has no nostalgic tendencies towards the 90s cartoons, never seen any of them except for the Ninja Turtles cartoons, which I made sure of. You loved it. You liked the movie. Like, you were looking forward to more coming from that. Man, what a great way to just breathe new life into these properties. And so what do you think about my idea, Seth? Like, of doing sequels to this Rescue Rangers sort of world, or maybe spin-offs rather, to where we see other cartoon properties, but they're all part of that same universe of, again, that Roger Rabbit world where, humans and cartoons live together. What do you like that idea, or would you just prefer to see a cartoon have its own, standalone?
I think if they were to have characters from this movie appear in other things, I'd want it to just be their own thing. Because I think when you dive into this kind of thing, I think if you do that with a bunch of different characters, it would just kind of just be the same thing, but with different characters. I think, keep Chip and Dale in this world if you want to. But, if you want to do like a Darkwing Duck movie or TV show, do a Darkwing Duck movie. Don't do Darkwing Duck, but not acting. Don't do Darkwing Duck interacting with Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see Chip and Dale do that. That'd be cool. But
right. Yeah, no, you do make a good point. It would get actually pretty exhausting pretty quick, if that's what they did.
I think this was a good time to make this movie, though, because Roger Rabbit was so long ago now. Like, when I keep looking up dates for things. When did Roger Rabbit come out?
I believe it was like in the late 80s, if not early 90s. But it's like
1988.
Yeah, I was about to say 88, 89.
But that'll be this decade. So in 6 years, that movie would be 40 years old. So
Cody Ray says Seth needs to do a marathon watching 90s cartoons. Cody, I don't disagree with you.
I've actually considered it.
Yeah.
you know what the front runner is for me, though, that I really want to watch first is X-Men, the animated series. I want to watch that. Yeah, I know what you're referring to, though. You're referring to stuff like Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles, but like when I think of like 90s cartoons, I do want to watch X-Men.
Well, they're all in the same. Like, you can see the evolution of how we all grew up. Like, like when you were a little bit younger in the early 90s, we watched Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck. And as that generation became teenagers, we got Batman, the animated series, and X-Men, animated series. Like the cartoons became a little bit more mature, and then now we're the ones making the movies. And now we've got this beautiful fucking thing called Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
You know, the weirdest part about this movie for me, like just a behind the scenes thing. Have you ever heard of the band Lonely Island? I'm sure you've heard of the band Lonely Island, right?
I'd have to hear the song. I'm not good with band names.
Andy Samberg is part of it, and he voiced Dale. This is a Lonely Island movie, which weirded me out because like they're like a band and stuff, but then you find out that Andy Samberg is starring in this movie. Obviously, another member of that band directed the movie, and there's someone else who had a bunch of cameo roles and like produced the movie and stuff, and that's weird because they usually do like R-rated like comedies and stuff like that. So the fact they did a Chip and Dale movie just weirded me out.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. That's a really fun fact. Yeah, man, you are just full of knowledge today, man. Yeah, Seth Draven. You can find him only here at Film Trigger, or until he gets done with my bullshit and creates his own channel. Jimbo says it was very small, but there was a Gargoyles reference people caught. See my last comment. I missed. Oh, I didn't see that. But no, that's not it.
I don't think there was another Gargoyles comment from him.
No, I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood what you're saying, but no, I didn't see what the Gargoyles reference people caught. Yeah, I don't know what that was, or the comment that you're speaking of. Anyway, whatever. Sorry, Jimbo, if I got confused there. But when it comes to just the fun of this movie, I think it's a beautifully done for family. Like you said, Seth, it was made by Menchild. Like Andy Samberg and that band of his they all have to be around my age or close to it, because it seems like it was like a passion project. And I said that in my review, but I actually edited it out. I said it seemed like the people who put this together did it as a passion project because there's a lot of love behind it.
Yeah.
And now that you say that gives me validity that maybe wasn't entirely wrong, and maybe I shouldn't have edited that out of my review. But this is a fun movie for the entire family. The adult-driven content in the movie is very prominent, but it's not overdone. Like, you can watch it with little, asshole Timmy or whatever kids you have, and you can still watch it without, all the bad words or whatever that, you don't want your kid to see. But you can still enjoy the content as an adult. I think movies like that are just wonderful, and this movie executed it very, very well.
There were some characters in this movie that I was surprised were in it. And I'm not just talking about like the copyright characters like Sonic and stuff. Is it the dad from South Park was in this movie?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's when everything was on the table for me at that point. Like, as I was wondering, I was like, it'd be really funny if they did a Family Guy thing. But then I was like, oh, maybe they won't, because that's like more TV MA and stuff like that. But then I saw South Park and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, anything is possible.
Yeah, they
still no Family Guy.
Yeah, they did Simpsons. They did Simpsons, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
they didn't do Family Guy, and they had the rights because it's Disney.
Yeah, it's Disney. Yeah, they own Family Guy, so that's why I was really surprised they didn't do it.
I didn't even think about that. Although I do find the irony that the Simpsons copyright version or anti-copyright version of the characters was actually how the Simpsons looked in the first. Their original designs. I remember. Yeah. I noticed that. Oh man, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Seth, you asked me who my favorite character was. Who was yours?
Who's my favorite character?
Yeah.
Chip and Dale. Which one's which? The one that wasn't Andy Samberg. I think it was Chip.
Yeah, Chip.
The 2D one.
Chip is the 2D one. Chip is the serious one.
Okay, yeah, him. I liked him. He was my favorite character.
You would.
I just like John Mulaney. I don't know.
You would like the stale, boring character. That's totally up your alley. I can see that. I don't know what that says about you, but well, no, because you and I, like, as much as we're similar, you and I are actually pretty different. If people know us, they like our sense of humor. Like, we have the same sense of humor, except I'm more wild and and in your face with it, and you're more dry, subtle. But we have humor. Right. We have the same sense of humor, but like just delivered differently. So yeah, you would like Chip. I like Dale. That's you and me. That's how we are as human beings. I think that's a great comparison. Jimbo says it might not have went through, but I just seen it again. I just sent it again.
I don't think it went through again.
You know what, Jimbo? Give me a second. I'm going to check on the actual YouTube. See if we're missing comments from our video or not. All right, let's see here. No. No, Jimbo, I don't know what's going on.
Strange.
That is strange. Sorry, Jim. Well, Jimbo, if you get tired of trying to type that in, you want to give us a call, you can call us live on air right now, 740-527-3447. Only because we're live. We do not take the calls when we're not live. I keep getting messages from people calling the show when we're off air, which is, it's fun. It's funny, but they're asking me questions that I just can't answer, because I'm not live. Yeah. Let's see here. Jimbo says, "Screw it. Send it to your Facebook. YouTube might be blocking something in the comment. What fucking YouTube algorithm fucks." All right. Let's see here. Let's see, Jimbo. I'm going to find out what this is.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
Oh, come on, really? My messages aren't coming up.
Jeez.
Here, I'll show you what I'm dealing with here. Literal, what's happening? It's written in the stars, man. I'm not supposed to know what's going on with this. What the hell, dude?
That is unbelievable.
You know what? No, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to check for my phone. All right, we're gonna get this, Jimbo. All right, I got it on the phone. Jimbo says, "Did you see Super Smash Brothers Easter egg, where Chip and Dale had their own fighting game? There's a Gargoyles reference on that. Google Disney Afternoon Fight Fest if you didn't catch it." No, I remember this. I remember the Smash Bros reference or Easter egg, but like I didn't catch the Gargoyles thing. I'll have to check that out. Seth, can you look that up?
Look up what was it?
He says look up the Google Disney Afternoon Fight Fest if you didn't catch it. And if you feel like it, you can bring it up on the screen. Sorry. All right, Jimbo, we got it, man. We figured it out. Holy hell!
There it is. I see it. All right, hold on.
Let's do, man. Life really tried to make that comment not happen. Now, watch you get like a virus or something from looking this up. And that was like life's warning.
Well, are trying to get it.
Okay, I was wondering. I didn't know if you were screen sharing it or not. The anticipation is terrible.
There we go. Can you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, okay. I see now. All right. Yeah, look at that. I didn't catch that. Good. All right, man. Well, thank you, Jimbo. I appreciate you sending you guiding us towards that. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I didn't catch it. Well, at least they got some sort of nod in the movie. Good for them. Seth, is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, or does anybody have out there in YouTube land have any questions or comments or something that you really enjoyed about the movie that you want to share with us?
I'll say this. I really enjoyed the one part with all the Seth Rogen cameos, and it wasn't just because of Seth Rogen. I'll say this. Growing up, one of my favorite movies was Monsters vs. Aliens.
That's still such a good movie.
They got his character from Monsters vs. Aliens. And I thought that was kind of crazy. So I enjoyed seeing that. That was funny.
That was a great multi-cameo thing, Jimbo. At this point, it was way more work than it was worth. Man, it doesn't matter. It's about the damn principle of it all. I would end the show if I couldn't get that message up. My messages are not showing up on my thing. I don't know why. That's so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. The Seth Rogen cameos. Now, Disney has done this before. Pixar did this before with the that one guy. Oh, he played Cliff in Cheers. He always does. He does all the voiceover and all the different Pixar movies. Most notably, I think he's in Toy Story.
I'm trying to remember who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
Did he play the? Was it the pig?
Pig, yeah, the pig.
Oh yeah, him. Did they do that?
They did that with him. There's one. I forget. I think it was Cars or something like that. I can't remember that they said. He makes his character that he was playing in the Pixar movie says, "Man, do you notice that they're using the same actor to voice all the same voice, the voice characters in all these movies?" And then they showed like different versions of him playing those characters. It was pretty fun. It was almost the same type of cameo, a little bit more creatively done. But yeah, the Seth Rogen cameo where all of his voiceovers came over and
Pumbaa from The Lion King. I can't remember his character's name from Kung Fu Panda, but that was who the little insect was.
Oh, I didn't even know Seth Rogen was in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie since you were a kid.
I haven't either. I don't know.
Yes, John Ratzenberg. Thank you, Ratzenberger. Thank you, Jimbo. I appreciate that. That's who we're talking about. Yeah. So one thing, since you did bring up, all the different cameos, and you brought up, Seth Rogen's, playing Pumbaa. One aspect I really enjoyed about this movie was the fact that they made it comical, though, the CGI makeover.
Yeah.
Having the surgery. It was a cosmetic that you could add, almost like having a nose job, and that's how it's played off in the movie. It's no secret. I've had some 3D work done, and it's almost like a smug thing to do. Like, an actor trying a little too hard to, keep in the limelight and, being recognized. And
yeah,
but one aspect I really enjoyed about that was Baloo. The bear, Baloo. Like look at him. Ever since he had his CGI makeover or his 3D makeover, he's living his best life. I thought that I would love for them to actually bring Baloo back, or at least show him as his cartoon self, because Baloo, I know he's from Jungle Book, but I know Baloo more from Tailspin, which they used the Jungle Book characters and created a show called Tailspin, and Baloo of the same name played in that show as well. And I would have loved to have seen like a Tailspin reference with his CGI self. I don't know. I thought it was very creatively done, and it's one of the many aspects I loved about this movie. Matter of fact, I might put this movie on when I go to bed tonight, just for fun. So, well, that's he played Cliff on Cheers. Well, I think that's all I really have to say about the movie when it comes to what I love about this. It was just Cameo the movie, but like not done in an exhausting way. It was very entertaining, very fun for the whole family, some good adult humor, but like right in that realm where you want your adult humor and family films. It's the grown-ups will get the reference, the kids will just think it's some silly joke. I think it's great, and I gave this movie an A+, which shocked Seth. Seth didn't think I would give it that, but that plus was literally, if I took the nostalgia out of it and just graded this movie just based on what it brought to the table, I would probably give it still maybe an A- to an A. Like, it's still a good, fun movie. And what proves that is that you like it and you have no nostalgia for this movie at all.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't speak volumes, then I don't know what does. So Jimbo says, one thing I'll say is I love the way it was shot. Combining live action CGI and that choppy claymation style, the cartoon Roger Rabbit type stuff. Yeah, man. They made it work. They pretty much made another Roger Rabbit movie. I can guarantee that's exactly how, like, when they're sitting down writing this movie, they're like, okay, Roger Rabbit, but with all of the characters that we grew up with, and because Roger Rabbit was essentially, even though Roger Rabbit, the character himself, was a new character, he wasn't a nostalgic character, he was created just for the movie. All the characters surrounding him in that movie were, cartoon characters that people who made that movie grew up with, the original, Daffy Duck and, what's a Bugs Bunny fucker. It was, and this is Disney's, well, I guess, was Roger Rabbit a Disney movie?
I'm pretty sure it was. Well, no, that might have been WB. Hold on. I think that was actually WB.
Because much like this movie, they had different cartoon characters from different studios. They had to get the copyright thing through them as well.
It wasn't Disney.
Okay.
I haven't found exactly who it was yet.
Some random 80s studio that doesn't exist anymore. I really, the way they did mix up all the different styles of animation, I thought that was creative. And again, like I said, Jimbo, before, treating the CGI makeover almost like a nose job, a cosmetic surgery. What's that?
It was Disney.
Oh, well, look
Weird.
at that. All right, cool. But yeah, the way they played this off like a Roger Rabbit, if you would have told me, hey, we're going to make a newer Roger Rabbit type style movie, but with more quote unquote modern characters, more, how do you say this appropriately? Modern nostalgic characters, I think would be the way to say that. I honestly would have said that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But this is why I'm not writing movies, because it freaking worked. It was great. It was hilarious. Nostalgia's all tickled. And can we get a little shout out to J.K. Simmons, by the way?
He was having way too much fun.
He was. I tell you what, there was a missed opportunity there.
What with what?
Where was the Eminem guy?
Oh, wow.
That
was
JK,
right there, too.
You have J.K. Simmons playing in this fourth wall break sort of animated live action hybrid movie. They totally could have done an Eminem cameo with him, because he plays, if you don't know, J.K. Simmons voices the yellow Eminem in all the Eminem commercials.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally missed opportunity there. Jimbo says, well, apparently we're getting another Roger Rabbit in September. Really?
Yeah, I'm looking into that right now.
Really? I mean, what I said about it not working was not, I wasn't saying Roger Rabbit wouldn't work. I was saying that concept I wouldn't have believed would have worked. Now, you tell me the new Roger Rabbit's coming, I'll be like, I'm in for that. Roger Rabbit was a little bit more risque with its jokes, a little bit more adult driven. It was kind of like cartoons at night, you know, the over sexualized. What's Roger Rabbit's girlfriend's name? God damn it!
I remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yes, Mrs. Rabbit. She was a very sexualized creature in that movie. I don't know if they would still do that the same when we do get that. But what'd you find about it, Seth?
I mean, it says it's in pre-production, so I doubt it's coming this year. But
is it a movie or a series or?
That's looking like it's a movie.
Is there any word on if it's theatrical or straight to Disney Plus?
No, it says it's called Roger Rabbit 2: The Toon Platoon.
Oh God. Can we make that any harder to say, please? Thank you. Roger Rabbit 2: The Toon Platoon.
After his human parents tell him he's a toon, Roger Rabbit must find his real parents. He goes to LA and finds a girl called Jessica, his future wife. Then he gets
Jessica Rabbit.
This cannot be real. What is this?
No.
All right, we'll see. This is on IMDb though.
No, keep reading, Seth. I want to let's dive. Let's get to the bottom of this. Malik says enjoyed the show. I'll check it out on YouTube too. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll go check you out on Twitch and see what you're about. Thank you. I appreciate you joining in.
I'll tell you what lost me with this movie is where it says and finds a girl named Jessica, his future wife. Then he gets sent to the military to fight Nazis. So, yeah, not sure if that's something that'll happen.
Well, I told you, so it's a prequel. So, but I told you Roger Rabbit was a more adult-driven thing.
Yeah.
So, that wouldn't be out of its realm. I mean, in the first Roger Rabbit movie, the opening scene is a cigar-smoking baby who is almost slashes itself to death with knives and burners, whatever dangerous items you can find in the kitchen. It's fantastic movie. I'm seeing Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2, Rise of the Fandom website.
Okay, I'll look at that real quick.
He says, Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2, Rise in the crossover, the album Tunes and Toontown Step. The film will be released September 14, 2022 in theaters and Disney Plus is what Google told me. I don't think they're still not doing that same day and date.
No, they're not doing that anymore.
So that has to be old for sure. Man, Jimbo's got us doing some searching today, doesn't he?
I'm pretty sure this is a concept because I cannot find. Oh, no, there's no way. There's no way this is real, is it? Yeah, okay. It's trying to claim that this. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's trying to claim that the screenplay is being written by 11 people, including Taika Waititi, Chris Columbus, Sean Levy, and
throwing random names out there.
Just throwing random names in here. Yep.
So it's a bust.
Written by George Miller. Produced by Ryan Johnson, Amy Pascal, Tim Burton, Avi Arad. Okay, all right. I doubt this movie's real. I'm sorry.
Man, bad scoop, Jimbo. Bad scoop.
Yeah, this movie's being directed by 15 people. Yeah, this movie.
And that's why we're Film Trigger, man. We get to the bottom, to the real news. Oh, man. That's good stuff, dude. Good stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's really all I have to say about what are you laughing about now?
I'm still reading this. I'm getting down to the cast and the music. Hans Zimmer, Alan Silvestri, who did the Avengers and Back to the Future, Michael Giacchino, Junkie XL.
They're literally just throwing every fucking name out there.
They're throwing literally every name in here.
Yeah,
That is insane. I'm gonna close this before I get too invested.
Starring God.
The cast had Christopher Lloyd, who of course was in the first one, like Amy Adams, Zendaya, like Andy Samberg was in there too, was just in Chippendale. Like they were going away. There's a lot. I don't.
Oh man, Jimbo says, to be fair, I didn't open the direct site. Well,
Yeah, I think I know that the website though, Fandom, they can be used for reliability, but they also have like a subsection dedicated to like theory movies, like what if this movie was real? Concepts, yeah. Concept movies. They have like that section. That's probably what that was.
Nice.
But
hey, Jimbo, don't
bring it up though. There was.
Yeah, thank you. We enjoyed the adventure.
We did, and it looks like they are actually developing a Roger Rabbit 2. It's just not coming this year,
right? And it's not a Nazi fighting Roger Rabbit.
That might be though, because that was on IMDb, and IMDb doesn't have a concept
that's right.
section.
You know what? I'm done. I'm too confused about whatever that is now. But yeah, Roger Rabbit movie. I'm down for it. If you want more family friendly, but still in the same line of Roger Rabbit, and you haven't seen it, but for some reason still watched our spoiler talk, go see Chippendale Rescue Rangers. If you've seen it once, go see it again. Well, I say go see it. Go to your couch and watch it. Yeah. But which I might do tonight. Actually, I might actually just put that on because I really just loved that movie. I thought it was great. And who knows? Maybe on my second watch, I won't think it's as fun, but maybe I'll love it more. Who knows? I want to thank everybody who joined us in the comments. You guys make this show great. Jimbo, the MacGuffin that he had us chasing. I appreciate it, man. It's a lot of fun. It really is. We don't have this show without you guys. So I want to thank everyone who joined us today. If you haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share our content. That's the only way we're going to grow. And we're on a new goal. Like we're going to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to do it sooner than later. Because for the first time in a long time, I think Film Trigger knows exactly where we're going with the channel. We kind of didn't know for a while. When we first started out, it was like movie news stuff, but we just sat there with a phone and just read things and shared opinions, which is kind of what we're doing now. But then we did the movie reviews, and I was like, okay, I think we'll get stuck with the movie review thing, but I got burnt out on it. And I was like, no, I don't want to get burnt out on stuff. I still like doing movie reviews, but not as much. This is what I love doing. I enjoy talking with Seth, talking with like-minded people. I love it when Ramon comes on. I love it when Monte comes on. And I love it when you guys join us in the comments below. You really make this fun for me and everybody. Let's see. Before we take off, Jimbo, I didn't do research because I knew you were ending soon. Well, you knew that we would do it for you. That's what we do here. We will debunk anything. All right, guys, thank you again so much for joining us. Seth, is there anything else you want to say before we take off?
Nope.
All right. We will see you Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, we do not have a show this Friday, but we're going to move it up to a Saturday show because I have a music gig on Friday. So, but until then, well, I guess we'll see you Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thank you, guys. Stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.